Let's get into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. They know mortgages, and it's a crazy housing market right now. In fact, just saw a social media post from Mike Reedman, our president emeritus at NP Dodge Residential, says that Omaha is the number 2 most competitive housing market in the United States of America. 67% of listed houses sell within 2 weeks. We're hearing lots of stories of 10, 15, 20 offers on the day a house goes on the market. So if that is the situation that we're living in right now, one thing you must have is a pre-approval letter. And you can get that pre-approval letter from Eagle Mortgage Company. It doesn't matter whether it's FHA, VA, or conventional loans. They do all of that. You can find them at eaglemortgagecompany.com. First up on the docket, Trenton, the Baby Bob Bridge is getting closer to reality. This is going to be in North Downtown and is designed to connect North Downtown with the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge.
I've given a lot of thought about that, and I think it's about a 10-minute walk that they're going to bridge over the railroad. And I think that they should name the Bob Carey Bridge. I think they should just call that the Robert, and then the small one can be the Bob.
Or the Bobby.
The Bobby's good too.
It's a $6.4 million project. Completion is slated for 2023, and it looks like construction should be starting very soon on that. Speaking of construction announcements for downtown Omaha, there were 2 very big stories this week, and one of those, plans were released, or at least the results of a memorandum of understanding were released between the city of Omaha and real estate developer White Lotus Group. And the plan calls for a pretty densely developed mixed-use civic auditorium site. That, of course, is 17th, 18th, Capitol Street, goes a couple blocks north to the 480 viaduct. But in phase 1, we're talking about 388 apartment units. Of those, 120 would be mixed income. Now, the city, in order to prevent a debacle that happened many, many years ago with the old Wall Street Tower site, has put a deadline on there, and it is construction must start or building permits must be granted by 2023 in order to make this happen. But Trenton, I think this is pretty much what that part of downtown needs.
Absolutely. White Lotus Development, Arun Agrawal, who owns that company, very competent. They've done some huge projects, and this will be one of them. And that land has been sitting there for a long time. There was a failed attempt in 2017 with another developer, and these guys are going to come through with this project. It's well thought out. You're going to have a mixed-use development and apartments, retail, office, and it really completes what's been a kind of a gaping hole in that area.
Yeah, and it will be fun to see how that plays with some of the other big projects. The $300 million Tri-Park renovation, the Kiewit Science Museum, so many other projects going in that area. We're hearing about a large office building coming to the city library site eventually. So we'll keep our eyes on that. So many things happening in the downtown area. Okay, the other big news this week, Representative Don Bacon, congressman from the 2nd District here in Nebraska, representing most of the metro area. He made an announcement this week that Omaha has been officially chosen, namely the University of Nebraska Medical Center and Nebraska Medicine, as one of 5 pilot sites for a Department of Defense and really other federal agencies as well to develop a future catastrophic events response center. Something that we've talked about in order to help America deal with pandemics, even an attack on the homeland or what have you. We got this along with Washington, D.C., Denver, San Antonio, and Sacramento. Everything that we are hearing indicates that we'll probably be the first one to launch. And more importantly, this is part of the $2.6 billion Project Next that we've been talking about that will create 8,700 jobs in Midtown, paying on average $75,000 a year.
And 41,000 construction jobs, I'm sure, over time, over the 5 to 7 years it takes to build this thing. And that $2.6 billion, Jeff, could go up to $4 billion or something, just depending on the scope. And we shall see. But Mayor Stothert and Pete Ricketts and everybody, the city council, and everyone that has been involved in this project once it gets final funding and everything else, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Jeffrey Gold, Chancellor of UNMC, came out and said, it could go up to $4.3 billion. And that doesn't even include the 10 to 12 story administrative building that's planned on the west side of Saddle Creek, the incubation center inside the old steel plant.
Yeah, it's not $1 trillion like we talk about on federal terms, but we'll take the $4.3 billion.
Hey, we've talked in the past about D&M Roofing's free roof for a veteran giveaway. This is something so cool that they do. They take care of veterans who've done so much to take care of us. Folks, you need to know that the nomination deadline is May 14th. So if you want to be a part of this, there are a couple ways you could do it. Just go to dndmroofing.com. Otherwise, you could email Lindsay at dndmroofing.com, Lindsey. But we really commend D&M Roofing for doing that for our veterans. Hey, one last thing before we break for the news. Again, we've had this new newsletter out for the last 4 weeks. We've had 5 editions. It is wildly popular. We've had many hundreds of people opt in since it started coming out, but we get complaints sometimes from people saying, I signed up, but I didn't get it. That's because your spam filter is a little persnickety and sensitive. What you need to do is go in and mark News at Grow Omaha as an approved sender, or even put it in your address book.
News at growomaha.com, right?
News at growomaha.com, and then you'll be safe. And if you haven't signed up yet, just go to growomaha.com, hit the market report link on the navigation bar, and you'll be able to put your name in there.
Don't cost nothing.
That's the news of the week, brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.